Hey, behind my blue eyes and storylines with Miss Lisa Marie. I was just on my way out of town here in Birch Bay, Washington, and I just thought I would pull over on an old beach that I used to peruse quite often, many times a week, and it's just a peaceful beach. And really, this is one of the only kind of unpopulated, peaceful beaches until I get home. So I thought it was a fine place to sit and kind of ponder and reflect on this weekend. Um, as some people know, my health took a turn a little bit ago, and so I've been navigating or attempting to navigate my health, but really in association with the medical Western paradigm, because uh, where I'm at in my stage of things is that I have this insurance, right, that kind of limits my human experience, and it's Medicare with supplemental. And I have it because I'm on SSDI, which means I fit in a cute little category that's like, she has terminal illness, um, and, kind of an early retirement. I paid into the system since I was 14 years old, and it's just like kind of showing up for me, right? Or as I thought. And but with this, there's this control system, this limitingness, this sense of non-freedom for me, um, because it's a system that doesn't acknowledge all of its populations. Just a nice little fraction of it that fits so cleanly into the box. And even then, I don't think it fits cleanly. I hear a lot of people saying, hey, Medicare reform, medical reform, we can't be allowing these big institutions to be setting these standards with insurance policies. Um, I know that they're satisfying shareholders when there's such rigidity involved, because it's very calculated for oh my gosh, I always have such a hard time thinking of the word, just capitalism. Thank you. Um, and not to say capitalism is bad, but just these skewed um, systems that are really supposed to be work for the people but are privatized. It really takes the human experience out of care. And so that's what I'm experiencing, as I always subscribe to a paradigm of naturopathic, homeopathic medicine. And then with this system that I'm in, if Medicare doesn't cover naturopaths or homeopaths, then supplement doesn't cover it, right? So all of a sudden, I'm denied, cut off from the paradigm of medicine that I'm used to. And here, this is what you get: a system that you've never navigated before, that really just looks at one fraction of you. And each appointment you go to is going to talk about that one little bit of you, but not the whole person, right? And so I come from a paradigm of full body approach. So it's not just the mind body experience, but it's the emotional body, the mental body, the physical body, and the ethereal body. They all matter simultaneously. They matter, right? And so the goal is for this balance to be achieved in order to experience this harmony within, right? And so I'm thrown into this world of like, no, that's not pertinent to this appointment. And I'm like, I don't get it. I don't know how to do this then, because it seems like what I think is valid is not valid to the practitioners I'm looking at and in front of, right? So, a lot of times in my in the cancer journey, I've experienced a lot of like teaching moments where I'm like teaching other practitioners, like have compassion, like see the individual in a way, right? Like, well, I just do things a little bit differently. I don't have a choice to participate in naturopathic medicine because of the constraints that I'm in with this Western paradigm, and I really don't have a choice. I try to almost like, and everything feels like, oh, it's defiancy, and I attempted to, but everything absolutely is out of pocket. So not only am I paying for these very expensive treatments, and they're not even very expensive, they're manageable if it was isolated, but I'm also in addition having to still pay upwards of like $600 nearly for my insurance every month, right? And that excludes some things that aren't covered, or even co-pays that I have to pay for like medical medicines and stuff, right? So it's really frustrating that it's like, yeah, I would love to supplement with my paradigm of medicine out of pocket, but no one can afford that, not the average, working class person. That the whole reason why this system exists, and until it doesn't, right? And that's where I'm sensing it's not working anymore. And, not just people that are like, oh, this is unfortunate, you're 40 years old and you have a terminal illness. It's like, it's all the the elderly. That's not unfortunate to get elderly. It should be this amazing thing, opportunity, right? But if they have a health issue, uh, then they can't just take Medicare Advantage, which, hey, then you get silver sneakers, and then you might get some acupuncture care, and oh, you might get a little bit of body work. But that's only for this one little program that just a small fraction of people that are on Medicare can get away with, right? Maybe because they maintain their health and it was supported, all these years. Maybe they didn't have to work in a factory, maybe they weren't hard on their body. They had that opportunity and they can continue with, Medicare Advantage. But for the majority of people that have something, skewed with them, well, now that little tiny fraction might, make it so that, hey, Medicare Supplement is probably the most feasible route because, that 20% would bankrupt you, And so I'm just kind of like in this tied position. Well, just to take it a step further, I am neurodivergent, ADHD, and I do things at a non-neurotypical pace, right? School, it was like I was never processing as quickly as everybody else, or I was processing a lot of other things simultaneously with the thing I should be thinking of, right? And so, that was misunderstood growing up. And so, there weren't really supports in place for ADHD, especially in women, because it manifests differently. And so, it's like all my life, I sensed things that could be better, or like, wow, this isn't working, but I have to participate. Like, okay, I'm just chronically an ABCDF student, but then in the peripheral, almost kind of called stupid, and it was furthest from the truth. I had all these amazing gifts that just weren't seen or untapped or tapped into because of this very neurotypical rigidity of a school system that didn't identify and celebrate individualism and neurodiversity. So here I am, now I'm an adult. Now it still feels like I'm, having to keep the system up to speed or get it up to speed. And, my health is shifting. I want to, it is advised that my care approach changes now, right? Well, I just wasn't comfortable with the answers that I was trying to receive by moving forward with this new paradigm of medicine. I just wasn't comfortable yet. I would ask a question and then it just wasn't fully answered, or it was dismissive, or, or just not answered altogether. And then something else answered. And I'm like, that wasn't even the whole point. That wasn't what I was asking. I wasn't asking if should get that shot. It was asking, hey, is there a correlation between an uptick in, non-efficiency with these meds when, this shot was introduced? Like, it's just I just want educated questions and answers. And it's like I'm pushed away further from the truth when I'm trying to seek the truth. And so here I am. I just needed a little bit more time to make decisions, because something still wasn't feeling right and settling right within my being. And I've always been really gifted with this guiding light, and no one else needs to identify it or name it. I don't even name it. It's just a guiding light, though. Like, it's a source of knowing. And something was saying this medicine isn't right for you, not right now anyways, and sure enough, 70% of people that get on this new med have low white blood cell counts, right? So I just went through this massive like cold flu thing, and it showed, negative to the mainstream narrative, but it affected my whole being. And would have something like that just taken me out when I'm vibrant, I'm healthy, I can walk around? I mean, with supports right now, like, things are definitely changing for me. I don't garden like I used to. Things are adaptive, but I like work with it, so I'm not like, oh, I can't do anything. It's like, no, I like support my life so I can feel like I'm functional, that I'm participating, that I'm just valuable and valid and vibrant and growing and expansive, and helping humanity expand, versus just like, ugh, I have a death wish and I'm gonna die soon, right? And I'm gonna take this so I don't die. It's like I'm not focusing on the death part. Like, yeah, death is inevitable, and I'm prolonging the inevitable according to how I feel like I need to prolong it. And so I was just simply saying, I want to stay on this medical regimen that I'm on. It is a Western medicine. Because this is what I'm comfortable with. I'm not comfortable with that next phase because I can't live in a bubble and stay away from germs and etc. So what's right for, the next step for other people is just not the next step yet for me. So, hey, I want to continue to be on these hormone blockers so it doesn't feed my cancer, right? No, that's not acceptable. I'm being told that it's not acceptable because the regimen is proving not to work because your cancer, the cancer is moving. Okay, moving cancer is inevitable at this stage. So what's the big problem? It's prolonging the inevitable. It's death is going to happen. Why do I need to like go on the next step and feel a little bit more decrepit? Because the thing is that, it really truly is the medicines that kind of like get. Sometimes it's the fragility of the actual condition, but a lot of times it's the fragility that happens after you're on these medical regimens that happen. And I don't want to engage in that. If I'm dying currently, I like what I look, I like what I feel like while I'm dying right now, right? It's like quality of life. It's not necessarily the quantity. Maybe I'm gonna miss out on like a half a year of life, but I'm not attached to that half a year. And I'm okay with that. That's who I am to my core. It's not just I choose this. Like, I'm choosing this for myself. It's like it's a choice, but it's an innate choice. It's a knowing that that's okay. So, but guess what? Those meds were taken away from me, and they were discontinued the day that they said, you know what? No, we recommend this medicine. That day, all meds canceled. Yeah. So, since September, I was due in December for my medicines. Yeah, no, there were no orders. There was no one knew like who my doctor was, kind of. It's like, well, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I thought, I'm sorry, you're not getting care from so and so. And it's like, well, did I formally transfer to that company? Because I didn't formally transfer. You were just, having me go there because it was closer to home and I couldn't do that regimen that they wanted me to do and be so far away from home. So you found a place closer, but since I'm not doing that regimen yet, I'm choosing not to. I didn't transfer places, but then everyone just drops me because what, now I'm a liability? I mean, I don't know, because it wasn't articulated to me, right? And so I had a meeting with the one place that I had that consultation that one time, not the cancer care place that had been my primary care support for 6 years. And I said, their Seattle Cancer Care / Fred Hutch, they're refusing to give me this med, but this is what I'm comfortable with. Can I just please stay on this med until I can feasibly, mind, body, and soul, know that I want to do this other medical regimen that might give me an extra year to live, on top of whatever else I have to live. And she was very, to the point. I want to say curt. My friend said dismissive. I don't care. The point blank, she said, absolutely not. This is a liability. This would be malpractice if I say yes to this hormone blocker and this regimen because it is not working. Well, actually, yes, it has worked and it was working. Maybe it's not working the best medicine that would be, that shareholders might say like is acceptable for their paradigm, but for my paradigm, it's kind of slowing down the inevitable. But the inevitable is going to happen. Yeah, I've got stage 4 metastatic breast cancer. I will die from it unless I have a heart attack from not having medicines that they just without notice, just discontinued. And the last couple of months I've been, or last month at least, been floating without my medicine, because, well, who's my care provider? I don't know. Um, but yeah, it would have been malpractice. So it's better to give me absolutely nothing, because that's definitely not going to increase my risk of spread of disease, right? It doesn't make sense. So give me nothing, because it would be malpractice if I prescribed what you've been on. So we would rather have you have nothing than something, because that one something, in our opinion, isn't working to the best of its ability. But of course it's working. It's a blocker. It's a hormone blocker, right? And my cells need these hormones in order to absorb, you know, food. So yeah, it was working. It is working to a certain degree, but it's not, you know, stalling it like how you want it to. So what? It's my choice. In my paradigm, that is my choice. But guess what? With the system that be, that is not the choice. It is, you get nothing. My choices were to get a second opinion, which she was my second opinion. So get a third opinion, okay, in a system, a Western system that I normally all my life had not subscribed to as an adult. But now this is your only choice to navigate. You don't have say in the matter, if you want any sort of medical treatment, because this is the only treatment that you get is Western model, and we're saying no, so you get nothing. Then that is what is happening to me. So yeah, I get to get a second opinion, take the medicine they tell me I have to take now next, or go on hospice. That's what she said. Those are the three choices that I have according to Western medicine paradigm. If anyone knows me and they know that it's hard for me and to humble myself and to admit, my shortcomings with my physical abilities now, even though things are harder for me and everything, it pretty much is adaptive, I'm not ready for hospice anytime soon. Withdrawing meds and withholding meds, now that might speed it up a little bit, right? But I'm not ready. That's not an option for me. The option to do this now, strong arming me into a medicine that doesn't feel right, that you're saying is my only option, that's my only affordable option, which I still need, a donor to donate $15,000 a month so I can be on this med, which is Pfizer. That's one of my only options. Or get a third opinion, which if they're all held to those same, rigid, good, bad, right, and wrongs, they're going to say the same thing as all y'all are going to say, So really, what is my choice? Just all or nothing. Yeah. So that is the paradigm that I'm up against. And, I've had a good fighting spirit all my life of just like, no, there's a better way. Like, people aren't seeing it how I see it, I've just been given this beautiful gift of knowing, and my intuitive guidance has just been spot on and benevolent love, and it's kept me safe and it's kept me thriving and alive when probably times I shouldn't have been alive. So every part of my being is saying, this is wrong. This isn't okay. What is happening in the United States with our Medicare system and our medical system. It's not just Medicare, you're right, because I also have supplemental. It's like, it's the whole system. It is not working for the individual. And I shouldn't be in a system that doesn't honor naturopathic medicine, because that is who I am at the core level. I'm a full body approach to healing. I would say, what do you want to do when you grow up? Well, I didn't want to be a master at anything, but I knew I wanted to do a multifaceted approach to healing, right? Which now I know is a multidimensional approach to healing. And that is okay. That is my reality. That is my paradigm. And I should be able to embody that, right? But I'm not in a system that supports that. And it's very for me, it's a crime against humanity, but it's our standard system in the United States. So something needs to change there, and I just need to be seen in this reality and how hard it is to just navigate this world already being non-neurotypical. And I've done it with grace and love and expansion, and people have grown after I've gone through hell. you know, but by me having teaching moments and holding that space and holding my truth, people have grown and expanded in exponential, profoundly beautiful ways just by me showing up and saying, hey, maybe there's this way, you know, a different way. So I don't think this moment is any different. It's just like kind of the darkness that needs to happen in order for the light to be expressed and to be realized by the populace. So here I am. I don't know if I'll be here in a year or 2 years or 3 years, but just know that I have tried everything in my power to make this day happen, this gorgeous day. I walked these beaches 15 years ago. And I'm still here. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. And I feel like I get to choose. It's a choice. But I don't choose all or nothing. That's always been the destructive abuse that's kept me held back. Is all or nothing. Until I, you know, cultivated balance. And now it's being in right relationship with power and balance. It's just another facet of my advocacy for life supporting paradigms and modalities, and weakening and loosening the grip of what is perceived as what is working and what is not working. Thank you for seeing me on this beautiful day before I continue with my journey. Yeah. Thank you for being here. I love you. Kiss your face. You're beautiful inside and out.